From the News Channel 8 studios, let's talk live with your host, Melanie Hastings.
Well, it is that time of the year. It's the time to start thinking about your summer vacation. And Christine Chen is here. She's got some summer travel etiquette tips that we should all keep in mind as we head out the door this summer. Good to see you, Christine.
Nice to see you, Melanie.
So a lot of us are thinking about traveling by air, by car, staying in hotels, and I guess there are things to keep in mind with all of those areas.
That's right. This is the time. 77% of Americans will be traveling this summer. So there's a lot of travel going on out there, by plane, car, train, and some of the things you need to think about, because vacations, they're supposed to be a fun time, relaxing time, but they can be very stressful, especially if you're traveling with children.
Especially.
But the best thing you can do is prepare and do your research.
So what about before we go? Are there ways to kind of make the trip a little easier?
Yes, before you go. Okay, for air travel, make sure you know the rules for the airline that you're traveling on. Most airlines, we know today that travel is not the way it used to be. Make sure that your luggage doesn't exceed the 50-pound limit, but double check, because some airlines are a little bit different for your check-on. Make sure your check-ons are the right size. You can only take 3.4 ounces of liquid in a bottle. It has to be in a quart-size clear Ziploc bag. There are all these little rules that make things run smoother. If you're traveling internationally, do your homework as well, because this is a wonderful time to experience different lifestyles and customs, and you want to show sensitivity to those customs. And so you want to make sure that you have a little bit of an understanding of the culture, body language, different languages that we use here, gestures, are totally different in other countries. For instance, the OK sign here that we use all the time in other countries is something that is offensive. So make sure that you do your homework, because every country has their different set of customs and cultures.
Such a good thing to keep in mind, especially with what you pack, because in some countries you might need a scarf or something.
That's right. And that's the thing. A lot of tourist attractions. The Vatican, they turn away tourists every day because they're in shorts and a tank top. So you might miss that opportunity that you've been waiting for all year because of the dress that you're in. And a good thing to do also is maybe learn a few words or phrases in the language of the country you're visiting. You may not say it perfectly, but they always appreciate the effort that you made to respect them. It's all about respecting where you're going and appreciate who they are.
You don't want to be that boorish American, do you?
That's right.
Anything to worry about or to keep in mind with photos, taking cameras, that kind of thing?
Yes. We're so used to just clicking everywhere we go, especially now with the cell phones. You can use that as a camera as well. But make sure that you pay attention to the signs, because many museums, if you're at the theater, you're not allowed to videotape or take pictures. So you want to be conscientious and just, observant and not rushing so much. Slow down and enjoy.
Yes, after you too. It always goes a long way. Let's talk about the airlines and air travel in particular, because it just seems like there are so many areas where you could end up being rude if you didn't watch. Whether you're the first on board, the last on board, whether you're packing an overhead bin or...
Right. Well, I think something that causes a lot of stress is if you arrive late. And today you have to arrive at least an hour and a half early because of the security lines. So if you get there on time, that reduces some of that stress for you and others around you. And the one thing going through the security line, you want to be prepared. You know that you have to take off your shoes now. You have to take off your belt, jewelry, all of these things. Start preparing ahead of time. Have your ID out and ready, because when you get up to the line, you don't want to be scrounging through your bag trying to find what you need, holding up the line behind you. So be respectful of those that are waiting and be prepared. And once you get through the security and you're at the gate, don't take up two seats. I see it all the time. People sit down, put their luggage on the seat next to them, and there may be people standing without a seat, so don't take up both of the seats. And of course, when you're called onto the plane, they call in sections or numbers. Wait your turn. Don't try to get in there ahead of everybody else and think they won't notice.
Yeah.
You want to slow down.
That's right. Now, what about cell phones? Because that's a touchy area when it comes to airlines.
It is.
You have to turn them off.
It is. I heard that there was a man just asked to get off the plane because he refused to turn off his cell phone. But along with turning off your cell phone on the plane, when you're sitting in the boarding area or even on the plane before they take off, you can use it. Keep the tones down and talk in a quiet voice so you're not disrupting other people.
Okay, reclining seats. It's a tight squeeze on the airlines, let's face it. But you know, you don't want to have somebody's seat all the way back in your face the whole time, do you?
No, no, and you know, it is your right to recline because it's there, right? But be courteous about it. Show respect for the person behind you. It takes a minute to glance back to see maybe they have their laptop out, maybe they have food out on the tray. Make sure that this isn't going to come right back into them. Give them a moment to clean up before you recline back. I never recline back because it's so tight anyway that I just keep it up anyway.
An inch maybe, an inch or two, and that's about all the room.
That's right.
You know, children, they could be right behind you, banging their chair the whole time with their feet and yelling and screaming. You know, as a parent, you need to kind of reel them in, don't you?
You do, you know, and I think if it's clear that the parent is making every effort they can to kind of calm down their child, you know, maybe we need to be a little more patient and offer to help if we can. But also the parents do need to understand that not everyone thinks that that's cute or that's funny when their child is running down the aisle, kicking your seat. And it's perfectly fine to turn around nicely and ask them to stop kicking your seat.
And then maybe we'll appreciate traveling with children a little bit more.
That's right. That's
Christine Chen, the president of Global Professional Protocol. Thanks for stopping by with some great reminders as we all head out this summer.
You're
Have
welcome.
a good vacation yourself.
Oh, thank you.
All right, coming up.